Hello everyone, this is Justin Bob 100 here, and this is the third cycle of my level critiques, and this is actually part 2 of 2 for this third cycle, because I clumped, was it Grief and Wonderland 3 together in the first part, and in this part I will do Nausea by Dexterity and Sink by Fresh Cookies. Alright, and let us begin with Nausea by Dexterity. This is an artless level, which you are aware of, and it has a background of brown, but yeah, I don't know. The background could use some work. It's a little too, I don't know, it's just a weird color. I don't know how comfortable you are with art. Not everybody is. It's understandable. But you don't need to be an artist to fix up the background. So, you should go with like a... perhaps a different color. Not brown. I don't know. It's just a personal thing. I just don't like brown. Nor do I like that color. But if you like it, you can keep it. But I would go with like a blue, green, maybe even a red. Just personal stuff. Just personal opinion, not a professional opinion. Okay, so this level has a lot of multiple paths, which your levels are known to have. And you really use two different types of multiple paths. Although for the most part you use kind of an implemented multiple path, which is, I call it an implemented multiple path because it alters the ceiling height to get through. You have to, like, okay, not the ceiling height, but elevation. Like one path, for example, the top path. Ba-ba-da-bam, that's the rewarding path, but there's also a bottom path down here. And look at that, that's good. I don't know. The problem with this is it's a little too easy for the player to see. Oh, I need to go up there because they wait this section out because of all these vanish blocks being here, and they have to wait through it before they can go into it. So they know, oh, okay, all I see is that top path, and it looks pretty rewarding. And they go through there, and they have an easy time. The bottom path is pretty obvious that it's the crappy path. And they're just as easy to get to. Like, both are equally easy to go through, is the problem with it. So, make the, I don't know, make the top path a little bit more difficult to go through, or don't even have this like hill section here. Just go straight into it. It's just too easy for the player to spot out that path, and too easy to get into it. Here you have a jump into this little keyhole. With 56 jump, it can be done from right here, which I don't think that's what you were going for. I think you're probably going for this. But since a lot of people have 56 jump, this shouldn't be able to be done. I don't know. Just this little jump in general, or just altogether. Maybe you could put some arrow blocks here and here, pointing toward this thing of safety nets, so this actually comes into play. Because right now, this, I don't know. You really could just have like a wall here and just have the player jump and go there, and it'd still be the same. So really make use of the space. Make the walls interact with it. This is good. This is good. This jump. See, it's not too easy, and it's not too hard. It's perfect. And here's a implemented multiple path where it doesn't branch off into two paths, but there's two ways to go through it. Both of them are actually pretty equal. Because the top one you have to go through slowly. Like, you can't just run right through it or you'll get comboed by these safety nets. You have to go down a bit and then jump up. Aha, for the bottom one. Yeah, this works really well. I really like it. Good use of the multiple paths there. This is a little bit misleading. I don't know. I've always, in the past, I've always felt like whenever I see a vanish block and some safety nets, that the right idea is to go, like, in the direction you're already going, and then fall through and go back around. But this time, you're going through here, and you're going fast, and then you find yourself in this cubby, and you're like, oh, I just had to do that. Probably make the opening be here, instead of there. It's ineffective! Yeah, this little, kind of trap, I'm gonna call it a trap. This trap here is sort of ineffective. The player really isn't affected by it all that much. They just go through there and get up to there. And it seems like the bomb is supposed to be what knocks the player into this, which it will, but the player probably won't hit that. It's sort of out of the way. Quite a bit. Yeah. It's too out of the way. Okay, so then go through here. Yeah. So, okay, pretty much what you need to do, or what you should do, is put the bomb where I'm, like, running into, so the player will hit this, they'll go up here, they'll fly down, blah, 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 and then they'll be affected, and they'll be like, oh, drat, I shouldn't have done that. And then they'll do it, and they'll be like, that was well made. And they'll learn from their mistake. Happy, happy, happy blocks. Lots of super jumps. Sort of, I have a problem with this section. I'll go into more detail when I have freedom of the camera, but really the biggest problem with this is, well, some background. It's a multiple path, and the paths are completely sectioned off from each other. They're not interconnected. They just meet at the same exit. Which, those multiple paths, I don't know, they just seem sort of like they're legitimate multiple paths, but they're not, like, implemented well. Because you're pretty much just saying, well, I'm not really confident with either of these sections, so if I give the player a choice between the two, it'll make it better. That's not really how it works. If you're going to do multiple paths like that, always make sure that it's really worth having a multiple path, and that you're doing something clever with it. Yeah. So this path seems a little longer, and this bottom path here, it's kind of weird because you put vanish blocks here, so I was thinking, oh, I don't want to go down there. But actually, this path is much quicker than the top one. Yeah, I mean that was fast. And it was also less interesting. So if you're gonna keep this section, make both paths interesting. Yabba-dabba. Alright, good. Alright. that works. I really like this. I like how, oh, you're speeding through here. You're speeding through. It's like, what? How do I do that? You just feel like, oh, I gotta do this again so I can figure out what is up with this. And once you do, you find out you get a huge speed bonus. But what works about this is you have arrow and water blocks, so the player knows, okay, this means business. I'm going fast. The player sees, oh yeah, fast, fast, fast. Ooh, multiple path. Oh, this is faster. And there's two ways to actually fail it. You could just simply go like that, or you could go, oh, I'm doing it. Oh, no, I'm not. So that works well, very well. I don't really tend to comment on bomb or net jumps because they really are what they are. I'll just say this: if you overuse them, it's less interesting. If it's just bomb and net jumps the whole time. Not that this level is, but it's had quite a few of them. You should probably maybe vary the heights of these vanish blocks. They're very flat, and you really only have to jump on one of them. So if you varied the heights of them, and maybe put like safety nets or just did something, you could really get a lot of bang for your buck as the player while doing it. Going up, maybe going down, and maybe even going through a keyhole. I don't know, but just a little bit of variety here. Okay. That works. I always thought this. I thought this was funny when I first saw it. It's a little bit over the top. I mean, the multi-path here, it's just really not necessary. Choose one or the other. I mean, it's hardly called a multi-path. You just give two different choices on how to go through a wall. Not so necessary. It almost looks a little bit too cheesy. It just looks a little cheesy to have a path like that. So I would go with just the vanish here. That's what's more interesting than the brick. Yeah. Okay. Lots of happy blocks. This is a happy level. That works. There's really no hint toward the player having to go up here. Maybe you could do a little, maybe show that with like blocks pointing upward that, hey, you have to go up there. Or even like an arrow block. So the player doesn't just go, oh, wait, what? Oh, I'm just gonna get this happy block. You know? Again, bombinette jumps. If you like them, cool. But maybe something different. I like this deja vu thing here. You do the multipath again, and the top path really works because you just speed right through it, and then you do that jump, and whoa, you're over here. And then the bottom one, you have to try a little bit more. But both can be done by holding, like, up and left, I think. Oh, you give the player a chance to go to the high path again. So, if a player does somehow manage to find themselves down here, well, there's a problem. This is a pretty interesting obstacle. It's pretty interesting. Okay. Well, here's another multipath section. This one works really well because the top path, this is not like a super easy jump. It's not a hard jump, but you do have to think a bit and have some acceleration going into it. So when the player falls down here, they're like, oh, I feel pooped. But with all the happy blocks you've been giving, this... Oh, wow. Wow, it's kind of... You'd think you'd fly right into it. And you do! No, well, I have a lot of speed, but... Top path is slightly interesting, and the bottom path is not really interesting at all. If you're gonna do multi-paths, make sure both paths are entertaining. Don't just do it to, like, oh, it's cool, he's doing 2 paths. Make it, like, so they remember the section, not that there was 2 of them. Up, okay. And this is the final multi-path, and I actually like the bottom path a little bit more. Oh, wow. Well, let's see. The bottom path here, jumping around. I don't know, the jumps in this are much more interesting than the top one. But both paths are pretty even. Even flow. Biggest thing I could say is make sure if you're gonna do multi-paths that the top path is, it seems like the style is bottom path is bad, top path is good. Make sure to really implement that. And make sure the player feels like the top path was worth doing. But at the same time, falling doesn't make it less fun. And the bottom path isn't like, oh, I failed. It's, oh, I need to do better next time. Or the next time we see that thing again. Yeah. But this is a good level, good gameplay. Just make sure to make it more interesting. At times it got a little boring. You can really do some cool stuff. You're a good level maker, and you can alter the blocks a bit. See what you can do to make each section interesting. And the second level will be Sync by Fresh Cookies. This is quite a good level. Oh geez, I can't stand this song. This is quite a good level. It's been submitted to Level of the Week, like, I think, what is it? If I do my math correctly, like 1,000 times? I don't know. But it's been submitted a lot. And I've always wanted to review it because I really want to say my 2 cents in how to get it to win. It's just so sad seeing it entered every week, and I don't know. I'm gonna give you the advice, and you're gonna go soaring and flying with colors. Okay. First section, you fall. And then there's like all this smoke, sort of random, but okay, so you know, I think this would be a lot easier if I just did it with the camera, because there's a lot to this. So I'm just going to do it with the camera. It's going to be more effective for reviewing. But the problem with, just the first section, pretty much the idea is you're going like up to get to this point, alright? It all leads up to here. This point right there. And everything, but you put like, there's like, I don't know, there's a path here, there's a path here, there's a path here. Perhaps you can go up here too. Maybe you're going here and you're like, you know, I'm feeling a bit spacey. I'm going to go back this way. Or you're like, I think I can jump and get here. Or even if you're feeling pretty gutsy during this fall, you can even land here and then go up here. It's like there's 5,000 multiple paths, and all of them lead to pretty much the same thing, but none of them are interesting. I think the most interesting path is this bottom one, but that's not really saying that much. If you're okay, I like that you're going with choices, but the choices are just too weird. And the fact that you're going okay from right to left, now up. Okay, and then left to right. Oh, and then we meet up here. It's just a weird direction to do all these paths in. Yeah, just knock some of those out. Honestly, I think this one down here honestly shouldn't be in it. This bottom one is just completely different from the other ones. Uh, you put like, it took me a while to find this, but you have these weird jumpings, this jumping section where the player, oh, whoops, the player here. I'm gonna get to it. It's kind of funny. I don't know why you have it. I don't. All right, so you bounce here, player bounces here, and then there's these dark gray dots almost where the player has to bounce on them. I really don't know what's going on. And then they fly up. I don't get it. What was the point of this? It's just, I guess it's an Easter egg. But the thing about Easter eggs is that, like, skipped an entire third of the level. You gotta make sure with these Easter eggs that they're, one, interesting, and two, that they don't skip so much. That just most people like would only find that if they have like played it a bunch and they were really curious, because it's not even obvious either. It's just it's weird. I get rid of it. Okay, so after the player goes through this section, they'll end up here onto the one thing everyone's going to. And player goes up here, this is fine, and gets to here. Now, this level includes teleports, and when I first saw this, I was like, okay, this is where I'm going to teleport, right? And when I first got here, it looks like something that'd be teleported through. But then you go up, oh, this path is where I teleport. This has to be the one, because I can actually see the exit. Okay, so this part, it's pretty uninteresting, but that's okay. Player hits the teleport, goes down here, and they get here. I've always teleported here. I never teleport there, but you can teleport here, and when you do, you have this path and this path, and then you fall down near here. It's just so weird. Why is the hidden path always on the outside? It should be on the inside. Yeah, that's the main path seems to be the one on the outside. Alright, player goes out, goes around, they're on the outside, goes back in. Player goes up, player goes back here, player goes out. If player goes around here, they go on the outside and they come back in. It's that same motion. Obstacles here, they're not bad. They work. This works. I like that. And the combination of the silver and the brown block works pretty well. Although you do change it at certain parts. Yeah, what's up with the blocks now? Now that I think about it, whoa, the patterns. It's like you had a lot of really good ideas, and you're like, how am I gonna make the level? Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do all of this, and it just all came to mind all at once, and you put too much of it in, and it doesn't have any unity to it. I don't know. It almost feels like it was made by like a couple different people, like with different ideas. But I don't really know what to say for this. Maybe make this hanging section more interesting, with more interesting block choices instead of just straight up being able to hold right, go back on, left. Okay, teleport. That works. This works. This not so much. Because yeah, the player also has to fall down here to get back to there. So okay, it starts picking up a bit here. The player goes through, and there's vines, and it's really fast. It doesn't look bad. I mean, it's a little... When you're going through it fast, it actually looks pretty cool with the vines. I mean, it's pretty simple how you made it, but that's not important. What's important is... What's up with this path? I, I don't think... Out of the 5,000 times I've played this level, I don't think I've ever went this top path. It's just so out there. I think more people would go there if you put vanish blocks here, so the player, if they're just holding up and right, they get forced up here. And they're actually jumping along instead of just, oh, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to go through here. But, and then you have a falling section. I guess the vines mark the good path. Pretty random. The blocks are silver now. So many different blocks. This is where it gets confusing. This part of the level is very confusing. I don't know. So the player goes through here pretty fast, and this is fine. And then there's a lot of layer 0 with wait, it's layer 0. It's been a while. Yeah, it's layer 0. And the player goes through here, and they go around the blocks, and there's all these clouds, and it's confusing. This is like the other sections, though. Like this, it reminds me of this, where there's so many different paths, but they all seem to just be the same thing. It just doesn't really work. It's confusing, and the player ends up finding themselves here. And here's the biggest mistake in this level, is right here. Alright, you allow the player to be able to teleport to over here, which is the beginning of the level. When I first played this, I didn't pick up on this being the first section because, I mean, let's admit, you're falling through here and you really don't think about it. And I thought, oh, okay, I teleport to here. And I got here, I'm like, okay, what the heck? I'm in the beginning again. What gives? Really, this part shouldn't even be able to be accessed. Like, split this off. These just seem too together. The only thing that seems to separate this cloud section from this is just a little bit of safety nets. Have actual blocks separating the two. And maybe put just like the teleport right here, and make it more obvious that you have to teleport here. Like, ugh, I don't know. It's just confusing. And then here's another multipath. The bottom one, it's kind of weird because both paths are really the same thing. You just end up getting a teleport, and then you go here and you teleport. Apparently here, which should be marked. But I never go the bottom one because, for one, there's like safety nets everywhere, and I already see the item block, and the player's not gonna go where the item block isn't, so it's kind of random to go through this way. And this is a weird motion. I don't know what's going up on this. What's going on here? This seems really difficult to do. Just unnecessary multiple path stuff. Just work on this path instead of trying to provide other outside paths. Mark this so the player knows more clearly that they're supposed to go here. That was another thing that was pretty confusing for me first time I played it. The level really ends abruptly. Like, you get out of here and you're like running, and then you go here, you teleport, and the finish is right here. It's unsatisfying in the end. Like, anything that you had going for it, just the dead zone here, you go back in and you teleport and you win. I almost think that the level would be better if you just put the finish right here. Because this section, the player started here, they fell through here, they went here, and then they finish in the same spot. It should be different. It too much of the same. It's always going back to the same point. I don't know. Uh, okay, here's how you can make this level win level of the week. Here is my insight on it, and here's really how I can help you significantly. Okay. First of all, multipaths don't work in this part. It's just too all over the place, and it's very diagonal. It's just very up one, like stair step. Get rid of the stair step. Make it a little more rigid and like bumpy and less natural. It's too stair step related. Uh, this sort of looks weird, like when compared to this, because these are both technically trampolines, but one looks like a finger and one looks like a landing pad. Double paths don't work, and apparently, oh yeah, this is actually layer 0 art right here, so you're not able to see the other path. Just erase this so the player can see it's another path. That's how you do it. That's how it will look like two paths. And both the paths, they're not bad, really. You can keep that. And even this, you can keep this. This section's just kind of long and there's nothing here. Just flat. Speedy, speedy, speedy. This isn't bad, except for the fact this top path doesn't work. Vines kind of looks lazy. You're falling in a section. Clouds everywhere. You really don't know where you're going. It just seems random. This doesn't work because player can potentially and accidentally go to the beginning. This should be marked. This shouldn't be here. This should be marked. This shouldn't be here. No, I'm just kidding. This should be different. Too much of, oh, I'm going around the outside and meh. I don't know. Then going on the top, and then again, going back and finishing inside here just feels like you're limited. Everything is so limited. I don't know. It's not. It's weird. But as again, finishing right here, make it 10 times better. I just going back to this point every time. I feel it. No. This is what it feels like. It feels like. Ooh, what's a good example? It's like when you see a movie and it's trying to say something so new and so unique, and it just keeps hitting it, and then by the end you're like, okay, we get it, and it's like, okay, I've seen it like 5 times now. You don't need to keep stressing that this goes to the same point every time. It needs to feel like an adventure, not as much of a golden compass. Yeah. Golden compass, you go to the same point every time. It's not an adventure. It's just a compass. But anyway, art-wise, well, the black background is fine. Make sure to touch up on the art though, especially this. And it's layer 0, which it doesn't need to be. This is sort of lazy. Just change this out. Even these safety nets like around here, it's just. I'm sorry. I don't want to seem offensive, but this level is sloppy in my eyes. It's sloppy. It has good things going for it. Some gameplay parts are good. You had a good idea for it, but it just ends up being sloppily put together. Have some more integrity. Make sure if you're doing multiple paths, make sure each path is actually interesting. And I'm just going through and kind of going back and forth throughout it and just kind of commenting on everything. Make unity. Make it feel more united. Feels like 3 distinct sections, and Each section is could be better, but not a horrible level, just not the best level. So just work on it and you will win level of the week. Alrighty, and that is all for the level reviews today. I'm sorry to say this, guys, but I think I'm gonna stop doing this level critiques thing. It's just I'm getting very busy with schoolwork and all this other stuff going on in my life, and I can't guarantee that I can get these out within like a couple of days. I mean, I'll just be each weekend be packed with these level reviews. I'm sorry. I think I'm gonna end it here. If I ever have an opening and I'm able to have more time to do it, I will. But now is really not the best time. So I hope you guys could get a lot of stuff out of this based on the reviews that I did do. I had fun doing them, especially this third cycle was a lot of fun, a lot of time put into it, but it was interesting analyzing each level and picking it apart and seeing what makes it good and what makes it kind of stumble and fall. But thank you guys for supporting me through this. I will. I'll still be making videos, just not as often. But thank you guys, and this is Justin Bob 100 signing out.